we must never forget that procrastination has eternal consequences. Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Funbi, aka the Fruitful Woman, and over here we talk all things personal development, productivity, but from a faith perspective. This video is a little bit different to what I would usually do. I wanted it to be like a sit down talk, girl to girl, about procrastination. Procrastination, the bane of my life. We've all gone through it. You know that you're meant to do X, Y, and Z, and you're just sitting there and you're scrolling, or you're watching Netflix, or you're chilling in bed, and the day just goes and you haven't done that thing yet. And honestly, procrastination is literally stealing destinies, and that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how we can stop doing this terrible thing that is literally eating up the gift of time that God has given us. But before we go on, if you are not subscribed yet, please just take a second to hit the subscribe button. And if you do enjoy the video, please do like it and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what your experiences of procrastination has been, or any tips that you have to help overcome it. So by definition, procrastination is to delay something or to put off action. And like I was saying at the beginning, we have probably all experienced that in different ways and at different moments in our life. But the thing is, a lot of the time people think that procrastination stems from laziness, which sometimes it does. Sometimes you are just being lazy. But a lot of the times there are actually deeper reasons as to why you might be procrastinating. And I wanted to talk about those reasons. And, if you see any that might be talking about yourself, let me know in the comments. So sometimes procrastination can be rooted in the fact that you are a perfectionist. That means that you want things to be perfect all the time. So if you're about to launch something or produce something or write something, you want it to be perfect before you can release it to the world. And because perfectionism is such a high standard, no one is perfect. We all have our flaws. What we produce sometimes has its flaws. And the reality is, until you do it and put it out there, it's not going to be perfect, because there is always going to be something that needs to be changed or improved. And because deep down you know that, you then think, I can't achieve this level of perfectionism that I have in my head, and therefore I'm just going to stall for as long as I can. I personally, I think I don't really struggle with that. I think I'm very much in the camp of, let's just put it out there and we can make it better as we go along. And I think trying to build a brand and a community has really taught me that, because otherwise, if you wait for perfection, you will never do it. You will never get there. And even something that you think is perfect, once you put it out there, you will realize that what's perfect to you is not perfect to another person. So, perfectionism is just this standard we've just created in our heads. I think we should be holding ourselves to a standard of grace rather than to a standard of perfection. So give yourself grace. You might make mistakes. There may be things wrong with it, but thank God we have another chance to, do it again, make it better, improve it. And that is how we see progression. Even with things like YouTube or creating content or creating a product, if you ask any established person, let me see your first YouTube video, let me see the first product you ever produced, they will cringe. Even if you go back on this channel's not that old, but if you go back a year back, I literally am fighting myself not to take down those videos, because I'm thinking, oh my God, so nothing is perfect, but over time things get better and can become perfect. So if perfectionism is one of your roots of procrastination, then let this be an encouragement to you that nothing is perfect. Do your best, put it out there, and then you can think about improving it. Another cause of procrastination might be fear of failure. I think this is quite a common one when you know you're doing something that's quite challenging, something that's quite outside of your comfort zone, or something that's just quite unknown to you. So you don't know, you don't have proof of concept that this thing is going to work. You therefore start to feel like, oh my God, but what if I fail? Everyone's going to see me fail. Or sometimes even for your own self, even if it's not something that's on a big platform or something that's to the public, you yourself don't want to. Sometimes when we fail, we feel like we are the failure rather than just experiencing that failure and then moving forward from it. And obviously it's an uncomfortable feeling. As humans, we tend to shy away from things that are uncomfortable, and that can be a route as to why you might be procrastinating. And on the opposite, there's also the fear of success. I struggled with this one for a while in terms of understanding why anyone would be scared of success, but I think I understand it now, in that sometimes when you are doing something and you think, if this thing works, the weight of responsibility that's going to be on me, or the other things I would have to do as a result of this thing working, I can understand why that fear of success might be there. Sometimes you don't even feel like you're worthy of that success. Sometimes you don't feel like you're worthy of good things. You don't think you're worthy of good things happening to you, or you don't actually believe that these good, amazing things can happen to you. And for that reason, you just procrastinate instead of actually doing it and actually living in the abundance that God has for you. Lack of planning. Oh my God, this one is a big one. I think I probably suffer from this one the most. If I haven't planned something, so for example, like a YouTube video or like creating content or like writing something, if I haven't planned it and I don't really know like what I'm doing, but I just know that I need to do it, I'm 9 times out of 10 likely to procrastinate. Like, I need to plan. I need to know like each stage of what I'm doing. I need to understand what it's going to take. I need to count the cost. And a lot of the time we have a to-do list. We have things that we know that we need to do, but we haven't actually taken time out to actually plan, whether mentally or actually writing things down. It's really important to actually take that time out, because sometimes when we don't know, sometimes when something is big and overwhelming, we tend to be like, oh, okay, like you just feel confused. You just feel like, what do I do? Whereas if you take time to break it down into actionable steps or into stages, it seems more manageable, more achievable, more doable, and then you're more likely to actually do it. I guess the other problem is if you start procrastinating to plan. I feel like planning is a lot easier though, but yeah, I can see how that can become a cycle. But lack of planning is definitely one. And I think sometimes you just have to, be disciplined and actually just plan. Another one is resistance from the enemy. I think procrastination can actually be very spiritual. Obviously, there's these other psychological, physical, emotional things that may be causing it. But I think also that it can be spiritual. I think that if what the Lord has placed in your heart to do, to birth, is going to impact generations positively, is going to bring people to the salvation of God, it's going to make people's lives easier, then the enemy is going to try and stop it. Like, the enemy is going to try and stop you in your tracks. And procrastination is one of the things that he's going to use. I often think about some of the Bible stories and I think, what would have happened if this particular person in the Bible procrastinated? So somebody like Noah, for example, who was tasked with building the ark so that he could save himself and his family from the flood that was coming, which was going to wipe out the entire world. Imagine if he procrastinated. Knowing how big that ark needed to be and the work that would have been needed to get the animals on to the ark, imagine if he procrastinated and he was like only halfway done when the rain started to fall. Like, him and his family and all the animals would have been wiped out. So procrastination really can have eternal consequences. And a lot of the time, you might not know what that consequence is. You don't know how it's going to affect you. You don't know how it's going to affect your generation, your family. You don't know how it's going to affect the people whose destinies are tied to your yes, whose destinies are tied to you doing what God wants you to do. And honestly, I'd rather not find out. I'd rather just do what God told me to do, and not waste the time that he's given me to do it. The other thing is resistance from our flesh. So obviously not everything is the enemy. So, well, I mean, our flesh is kind of our enemy, I guess. But like our flesh, like, we have a big problem with delaying gratification, especially in this generation where there isn't much that we can't get instantly. If you want food now, I can order it on my phone. Within 20 minutes, it's at my door. Even like things like microwave food, whereas before you might spend an hour cooking dinner, but now you can just pop something in a microwave for 3 minutes and you've got dinner. Like, we have such a microwave generation, and I think because of that, we have problems with delaying gratification. And so when it's time to do something hard, something that isn't necessarily gratifying immediately, we instantly just kind of shy away from it, and we will naturally move to something that is gratifying immediately, like scrolling on Instagram. We get big dopamine hits from that. I guess laziness would also fall into resistance from your flesh as well. So one thing that I'm always reminded is that regardless of whatever route you're dealing with, whatever reason for your procrastination is, Self-control is a fruit of the spirit. You have the ability to control yourself. You have the ability to control what it is you do next, what it is you do with your time, whether you're going to spend it scrolling or whether you're going to get up and do what it is that is needed. I have a couple of scriptures here as well. For example, for perfectionism, Ecclesiastes 11:4 says, whoever watches the wind will not plant, whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. Which is basically saying if you are always waiting for perfect conditions, you'll never do what it is you're meant to do. Like, nothing is ever going to be 100% perfect. You just have to do what you can and let God do the rest. A scripture for fear of failure is Proverbs 24:16, which says, for though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again, but the wicked stumble when calamity strikes. So it doesn't matter how many times you fail, you keep rising. The righteous keep rising. It is the wicked that when calamity comes, when failure comes, they just stop. But we, children of God, we will rise up. We will keep going and going and going and going. And one thing I recognize as well is that any person who's successful, is the reason they're successful a lot of the time is because they didn't stop. They didn't stop. Keep going. Like, you will keep getting better. Every time you fail, you've just learned a new way not to do something. So eventually you're going to find the right way to do something. You're going to find a way that works for you. Fear of success. The word is littered with so many promises of abundance for us. And I think that it's important to take hold of those promises and recite them, memorize them, and actually accept them. Resistance from the enemy reminds me of James 4:7, which says that resist the devil and he will flee from you. So I think a lot of the times when we get like temptations or any attack from the enemy, we just want to lie down and be like, oh, can't do it. No, resist and keep resisting and he will flee. That's what the word says. So that's what you have to choose to believe, and you will see it happen in your life if you keep resisting. And lack of planning, we spoke about that before. Like, just take time out to plan. If you know that you not planning is going to make you procrastinate, take the time out to plan and do things one at a time. Start to use your calendar and actually put things into your calendar. James 4:17 says that it is sin to know what you ought to do and then not do it. Like, that is sin. So that is literally on the same level as hurting someone, stealing. So I think it's really important that you know what your triggers are, you know what is causing you to procrastinate, and actually take stock of that and think about it and think about what you can do to eliminate it. There's some scriptures there that are really, really helpful to meditate on, but also some practical things. One thing that I like to use is Mel Robbins' 5-second rule, where she'll say, count down like from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you just get up and do that thing. It gives you like a deadline to just get up and do it. Sometimes as well, I'll put on like a timer. Like if I've been procrastinating to like clean, I'll put on a timer for like 20 minutes, and just the fact that there's a timer, it's almost like you're gamifying it. I'm more likely to just get up and clean once I say, Alexa, set a timer for 20 minutes. And there she goes.
20 minutes, starting now.
Okay, Alexa, cancel the timer. And when you do realize that you have procrastinated, pick yourself back up. I think that's one thing that I'm good at. Like if I've had a day where I've like procrastinated, wasted a lot of time, that next day I am redeeming the time. Like I'm going to work extra hard to make up for the fact that I was procrastinating the day before. Get comfortable doing things without motivation. Motivation will always, always fizzle out. Motivation does not take you far. Discipline takes you far. Self-control takes you far. So get comfortable doing things that you don't feel like doing. Like not everything has to be, oh, I'm so happy to do this. Like sometimes you're not happy to do it, but just do it. Another way as well is tell yourself that you're only going to do that task for 10 minutes, even though that task might require an hour or 2 hours of you. Just tell yourself that you're going to do it for 10 minutes. Start it. And what you realize is by the end of the 10 minutes, you're actually in the flow of it. A lot of the time with procrastination, it's just starting it, like switching to that task and starting it. Once you've done it for 10 minutes, you're more likely to be like, let me just continue. Like I'm in the flow of things now. So, and even if you decide, 10 minutes is done, at least you've done something. I think making use of accountability really helps as well. So if you are telling someone, one person or a group of people that, I need to do this thing by 5 o'clock, you are less likely to procrastinate because you know that someone is holding you accountable and someone's going to check in on you. So sometimes, like in our accountability group, someone will say, oh, I need to be at the gym in like an hour. If I don't post a picture of me in the gym, like bell my phone. And we do that. So yeah, using like your friends or accountability groups is really, really important. We have an accountability group. If you want to know more about it, click the link in the bio. Like, trust me, it makes a difference. And of course, pray. Like, submit these things to the Lord in prayer. If you find that this is a real stronghold for you, pray, fast, ask God to help you use your time wisely. So, yeah, I'm so tired of procrastination stealing hours in my day. And yeah, I'm really working on trying to be a lot more intentional about it. So, I invite you to do the same. But yeah, I would love to know like what you guys do to kind of help you stop procrastinating, or any roots of procrastination that you have found that you are dealing with, and how you're working to overcome that. So, meet me in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and so you don't miss the next video.